What if I told you that three ordinary foods you probably walk past at the grocery store every single week, could be the difference between a struggling heart and a heart that beats strong and steady well into your 80s and beyond? And what if I told you that these aren't expensive superfoods from the Amazon rainforest or exotic ingredients you need to order online? No, these are foods that have been hiding in plain sight, and cardiologists are absolutely shocked when they see the research data on just how powerful they are for people over 60. In fact, one major study followed over 100,000 people for 30 years, and those who ate these three foods regularly had a 31% lower risk of heart disease. 31%! That's almost like having a shield protecting your heart. But here's the kicker. Over 80% of people over 60 aren't eating nearly enough of these foods. Are you one of them? Well, not for long. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what these foods are, why they work like magic for your heart, and most importantly, how to add them to every single meal without any hassle. Stick with me because this information could literally add years, healthy, active, joyful years to your life. Hey there, wonderful friends. Welcome back to Doctor's Hidden Tips channel, your trusted companion on the journey to vibrant, healthy aging. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. This is the place where we don't just talk about getting older, we talk about getting better, stronger, and healthier with each passing year. We're a community of smart, health-conscious individuals who refuse to let age define their vitality. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, because we share life-changing health secrets every single week that doctors wish they could tell you but simply don't have the time to explain in detail during those rushed office visits. Now, let's dive into today's incredibly important topic. Now, let me ask you something. When you turned 60, did anyone sit you down and say, "Hey, your heart needs different support now"? Probably not, right? Most of us just keep eating the same way we did in our 40s and 50s, wondering why we're feeling more tired, why our blood pressure is creeping up, or why our doctor is suddenly very interested in our cholesterol numbers. Here's the truth that most doctors won't spell out for you. After 60, your heart faces unique challenges. Your blood vessels become less flexible, kind of like a garden hose that's been left out in the sun too long. Your heart muscle works a little harder to pump blood. Inflammation in your body increases, and your body doesn't process certain nutrients the same way it used to. But, and this is a big but, your heart is also incredibly adaptable. Give it the right fuel and it will reward you with energy, vitality, and years of strong, steady beating. I've seen 75-year-olds with the cardiovascular health of 50-year-olds, and the secret often comes down to what they're putting on their plates 3 times a day. So today, we're going to crack the code together. I'm going to share 3 foods that act like a maintenance crew for your heart, repairing damage, preventing future problems, and keeping everything running smoothly. Ready? Let's get started. Miracle food number 1. Fatty fish, the inflammation fighter. All right, let's talk about the first miracle food. Fatty fish. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "Oh great, another person telling me to eat salmon," hear me out, because what I'm about to tell you goes way deeper than just fish is healthy. Here's what's happening in your heart after 60 that makes fatty fish absolutely crucial. Inflammation. Think of inflammation like tiny fires burning throughout your cardiovascular system. These fires damage your blood vessel walls, make your blood more likely to clot, and basically age your heart faster than it should. Fatty fish, we're talking salmon, mackerel, sardines, herring, and even canned tuna counts, are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids. Now, omega-3s are like the firefighters of your body. They rush in and put out those inflammatory fires. But here's what doctors are really shocked about. The research shows that omega-3s don't just reduce inflammation, they actually help your heart maintain a steady rhythm, reduce triglycerides by up to 30%, and lower blood pressure by several points. Let me share a real story with you. My neighbor Tom turned 67 last year. He'd been on blood pressure medication for 5 years. His energy was low, and he was always complaining about feeling off. His doctor mentioned his triglycerides were high. Tom wasn't much of a fish eater, maybe once every few weeks at a restaurant. I convinced him to try something simple. Eat fatty fish 3 times a week. That's it. We're not talking about fancy preparations. Sometimes it was a can of sardines on whole wheat toast for lunch. Sometimes it was a simple baked salmon fillet for dinner. Other times he'd make a mackerel salad. 6 months later, Tom went back for his checkup. His triglycerides dropped by 28%. His blood pressure was down enough that his doctor reduced his medication dosage. But you know what Tom was most excited about? He said he felt like someone had turned the lights back on. His energy was back, his mood was better, and he felt like himself again. Now, here's the practical part, because I know what you're thinking. Fish is expensive, or I don't like the taste, or I don't know how to cook it. First, canned fish is just as good as fresh. Canned sardines and canned salmon have all the same omega-3s, and they're budget-friendly. A can of sardines costs about $2 and has more omega-3s than a fancy salmon fillet. Plus, the bones in canned sardines are soft and edible, bonus calcium for your bones. Second, if you don't love fish flavor, here's a secret. Mackerel mixed into a pasta salad with lots of herbs and lemon barely tastes fishy. Or try salmon cakes mixed with herbs and spices. They're delicious and the flavor is much milder. Third, cooking fish is actually easier than cooking chicken. Bake salmon at 400 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes. That's it. No flipping, no fussing. Season it with lemon, garlic, and herbs, and you've got a heart-healthy meal. The goal, aim for at least 3 servings of fatty fish per week. Each serving is about 3 to 4 ounces, roughly the size of a deck of cards. If you can do this, you're giving your heart one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory tools available. One more fascinating thing. Studies show that omega-3s can actually help your heart cells generate energy more efficiently. It's like upgrading from regular fuel to premium fuel in your car. Your heart will run much smoother and last longer. Miracle food number 2. Leafy greens, the artery cleaners. Now let's move on to miracle food number 2, leafy greens. And I can already hear some of you sighing because we've all been told to eat our vegetables since we were kids. But trust me, what I'm about to tell you will make you look at spinach, kale, collard greens, and Swiss chard in a new light. Here's something most people don't know. Your blood vessels have a thin lining called the endothelium. Think of it like the paint job on the inside of your arteries. When you're young, this lining is smooth and healthy, allowing blood to flow easily. But after decades of life, stress, inflammation, maybe not so perfect diet choices, this lining gets damaged. It becomes rough and sticky, and that's where plaque starts to build up. Now here's where leafy greens become absolute heroes. They're loaded with something called nitrates. Your body converts these nitrates into nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is like a repair crew for your endothelium. It helps your blood vessels relax and widen, improving blood flow and actually helping to repair that damaged lining. One study followed 50,000 people for 23 years, and those who ate just 1 cup of leafy greens per day had a 26% lower risk of heart disease. 26%! And we're not talking about mountains of salad here, just 1 cup a day. But here's what really shocked cardiologists. Leafy greens don't just prevent future damage, they can actually help reverse existing damage to your arteries. It's like giving your cardiovascular system a fresh coat of paint from the inside out. Let me tell you about Margaret, a woman in my community group. She's 72, and about a year ago, her doctor told her that her coronary arteries showed early signs of plaque buildup. She wasn't a candidate for surgery yet, but the trend was worrying. Margaret had never been big on vegetables. She was more of a meat and potatoes person. I helped her come up with a simple strategy: add leafy greens to foods she already loved. She started putting spinach in her morning eggs. It wilts right in and you barely notice it. She added kale to her favorite soup recipes. She made smoothies with spinach, frozen berries, and a banana. Couldn't taste the spinach at all, just sweet berries. 1 year later, her follow-up scan showed that the plaque buildup had stabilized and even slightly reduced in some areas. Her cardiologist was genuinely surprised and asked her what she'd changed. When she told him about the leafy greens, he said, "Well, keep doing whatever you're doing because it's working." Now let's talk practical tips, because I want you to actually do this, not just think, "That sounds nice," and forget about it. Practical tips for leafy greens. Smoothie trick. This is my favorite. Throw a big handful of spinach or kale into any fruit smoothie. The fruit sweetness completely masks the green taste. Add a frozen banana, some berries, a splash of almond milk or regular milk, maybe a spoonful of peanut butter, and blend. You've just consumed a day's worth of leafy greens, and it tastes like dessert. Soup edition. Any soup, chicken noodle, vegetable, minestrone, even cream-based soups, can have leafy greens stirred in during the last minute of cooking. They wilt down to almost nothing, but you get all the benefits.
Sauté method. If you don't like raw greens, sauté them. Heat a pan, add a tiny bit of olive oil, throw in chopped greens, add minced garlic, and cook for 3 to 4 minutes. Season with salt and pepper. It's delicious as a side dish or mixed into pasta. Salad boost. If you already eat salads, make them darker. Swap out iceberg lettuce for spinach, arugula, or mixed greens. The darker the green, the more nutrients you're getting. Frozen is fine. Frozen spinach and kale are just as nutritious as fresh, often cheaper, and they last forever in your freezer. No excuse not to have them on hand. The goal: aim for at least 1 cup of leafy greens daily. That's cooked or raw. And remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. 7 days a week would be fantastic, but even 5 days a week will make a measurable difference in your heart health. Miracle food number 3. Berries, the cellular protectors. All right, here comes miracle food number 3, and this one is going to make you smile because it's delicious. Berries. We're talking blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, basically any berry you can think of. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Berries are full of sugar. And yes, they contain natural sugar, but stay with me because the benefits for your heart are so powerful that they far outweigh any concerns about the natural sugars in fruit. Here's what's happening at a cellular level that makes berries essential for people over 60. Oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress like rust forming on metal. It's cellular damage caused by free radicals, unstable molecules that bounce around your body causing trouble. This rust accumulates in your heart cells, your blood vessels, and throughout your cardiovascular system, making everything work less efficiently. Berries are absolutely packed with antioxidants, particularly anthocyanins, which give berries their deep, rich colors. These antioxidants are like rust removers for your cells. They neutralize those free radicals and actually help repair cellular damage that's already occurred. But here's what has cardiologists really excited. Multiple studies have shown that eating berries regularly can lower blood pressure, reduce LDL, bad cholesterol, prevent cholesterol from oxidizing, which is what makes it stick to artery walls, and even improve the function of your blood vessels within just hours of eating them. One study took people with high blood pressure and had them eat 1 cup of blueberries daily for 8 weeks. Their blood pressure dropped by an average of 5-6 points. That might not sound like much, but that's comparable to some blood pressure medications, and it came from food. Here's a story that really drives this home. My friend Janet is 68, and she'd been struggling with high cholesterol for years. Her doctor wanted to put her on statins, but Janet wanted to try lifestyle changes first. She was already exercising and watching her diet, but her numbers weren't budging much. I suggested she add berries to her daily routine. She started having a bowl of mixed berries with her breakfast every morning, sometimes with yogurt, sometimes with oatmeal, sometimes just plain. She also started snacking on berries in the afternoon instead of crackers or cookies. 3 months later, her cholesterol panel showed significant improvement. Her LDL had dropped by 18 points, and her HDL, good cholesterol, had actually gone up. Her doctor was impressed enough to give her another 3 months before discussing medication. Janet just celebrated her 1-year berry anniversary, and her cholesterol is now in a healthy range without medication. But beyond the numbers, Janet says she feels better. Her energy is more consistent throughout the day, her skin looks clearer, berries are great for that too, and she loves having something sweet and satisfying that's actually good for her. Practical tips for berries. Frozen is your friend. Frozen berries are picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen, which locks in all the nutrients. They're available year-round, they're less expensive than fresh, and they don't worry about going bad. Keep a few bags in your freezer at all times. Breakfast boost.
Add berries to oatmeal, yogurt, cottage cheese, whole grain cereal, or blend them into smoothies. Starting your day with berries sets a healthy tone for your whole day. Snack Smart. A bowl of berries with a small handful of nuts makes a perfect afternoon snack. The berries satisfy your sweet tooth, and the nuts provide protein and healthy fats that keep you satisfied. Dessert Replacement. Craving something sweet after dinner? A bowl of mixed berries with a tiny drizzle of honey or a dollop of Greek yogurt feels indulgent but is incredibly heart-healthy. Mix them up. Different berries have slightly different antioxidant profiles, so eating a variety gives you the broadest benefit. Grab a mixed berry bag or rotate through different types each week. The goal? Aim for at least 1 cup of berries daily. That's about a handful or a standard bowl. Some days you might have more, some days less, but consistency is what creates those amazing health benefits. Now here's where things get really exciting. Each of these 3 foods is powerful on its own, but when you eat them together regularly, there's a synergy effect. It's like they team up to protect your heart in multiple ways simultaneously. The fatty fish reduces inflammation and keeps your heart rhythm steady. The leafy greens improve blood flow and repair your arteries. The berries fight oxidative stress and keep your cholesterol from causing problems. Together, they create a comprehensive shield around your cardiovascular system. Think of it like maintaining a house. Fatty fish is like fixing the foundation. Leafy greens are like keeping the plumbing clear, and berries are like protecting the exterior from weather damage. You need all 3 to keep the whole structure strong and healthy. And the best part? None of these foods requires you to give up the things you love. This isn't about restriction, it's about addition. You're simply adding powerful protective foods to your existing meals. Here's a sample day to show you how easy this is. Breakfast: oatmeal topped with blueberries and walnuts, plus scrambled eggs with spinach mixed in. You just got berries, leafy greens, and omega-3s from the walnuts as a fish alternative. Lunch: a salad with mixed greens, strawberries, grilled chicken, and a side of sardines on whole grain crackers. Leafy greens, berries, and fatty fish, all 3. See, it's not complicated. You're not eating weird foods or spending hours in the kitchen. You're just being strategic about including these 3 powerful foods throughout your day. Motivation and encouragement. I want to take a moment to talk directly to you, especially if you're feeling discouraged or thinking, I'm too old for this to make a difference, or I've already done damage to my heart. Listen, your body has an incredible capacity to heal and improve at any age. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s make dietary changes and see measurable improvements in their heart health within months. Your heart cells are constantly regenerating. Your blood vessels can repair themselves. Your body wants to be healthy. You just have to give it the tools it needs. Every single day that you choose these heart-healthy foods is a day you're investing in your future. Think about what you want your life to look like at 75, 80, 85, or beyond. Do you want to be vibrant, active, playing with grandchildren, traveling, or pursuing hobbies? Or do you want to be limited by heart problems and cardiovascular issues? The choice you make today, literally what you put on your plate for your next meal, is shaping that future. And the beautiful thing about food is every meal is a new opportunity. Had a not-so-great breakfast? No problem. Make lunch count. Had a challenging week? This week is a fresh start. You are not a statistic. You are not defined by your age or your current health status. You are a person with the power to make choices that dramatically influence your quality of life. And these 3 foods, fatty fish, leafy greens, and berries, are 3 of the most powerful choices you can make. So, let's recap what we've learned today, because this is information that could literally save your life or dramatically improve your quality of life. Miracle food number 1, fatty fish. Fights inflammation, supports heart rhythm, lowers triglycerides. Aim for 3 servings per week. Miracle food number 2, leafy greens. Improve blood flow, repair artery lining, lower blood pressure. Aim for at least 1 cup daily. Miracle food number 3, berries. Fight oxidative stress, prevent cholesterol oxidation, and improve blood vessel function. Aim for at least 1 cup daily. These aren't expensive supplements or complicated medical treatments. These are simple, delicious, affordable foods that you can find at any grocery store.
The research is clear, the benefits are proven, and the only thing standing between you and a healthier heart is the decision to start. I want you to pick one, just one of these foods to focus on this week. Don't try to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Maybe you commit to eating fatty fish 2 this week, or maybe you add a handful of spinach to your morning eggs, or maybe you buy a bag of frozen berries and start adding them to your breakfast. Start small, build momentum, and gradually incorporate all 3 into your routine. Before you know it, these foods will become second nature, and your heart will be thanking you with more energy, better numbers at your doctor's visits, and the vitality to enjoy all the wonderful years ahead of you. And hey, if you found this information valuable, please hit that like button. It helps us reach more people who need this information. Share this video with friends or family members over 60 who would benefit from these tips. We're all in this together. Don't forget to subscribe to Doctor's Hidden Tips channel and click that notification bell so you never miss our weekly videos. We're building a community of empowered, health-conscious individuals who refuse to let age define their vitality, and we'd love for you to be part of it. Next week, we're diving into the surprising connection between gut health and heart health after 60, and I'm going to share 3 simple habits that can improve both. You won't want to miss it. Until then, remember, every meal is an opportunity to nourish your heart.
Make those opportunities count. Here's to your heart health, your vitality, and many more years of living life to the fullest. Take care, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.